Um, James, Premier League champions, treble winners. Riyad Mahrez leaves. Ilkay Gundogan leaves. I just want to make sure I'm missing no names here. Yangel
Yes.
Herrera leaves. Benjamin Mendy leaves. Probably a good thing. Bustos, Cabore, a couple of these other guys, kind of more squad players, youth players leave. A 29-year-old Mateo Kovacic comes in for 29.1 million euros. We're less than 2 weeks now away from the Premier League season starting, and Jacques Cancelo's back as well. I don't know if that's a good thing. I'll be honest with you at this point. What's going on with Man City in this transfer window? Because again, James, Gvardiol, right, the centre back, that was supposedly, I think we got a here we go from Fabrizio Romano,
Yes, we did.
but I don't see him wearing sky blue colours, right? So what's going on with this Manchester City transfer window? This is weird to me, James. Man City have gotten worse. 365 days ago, Man City were better than they are now. And they're defending champions going in with teams around them who've improved. How worried should we be for Man City here?
Definitely, definitely. I feel like any team who wins something like they did, they want to go again. They want to improve the squad. And Jack, as we spoke about in the previous video about Man City, they've gotten worse. I mean, they've gotten worse. Like overall, you can't lose a player like Ilkay Gundogan. It's to me, it's not just the fact, okay, good, they brought in a replacement, but we're talking about the quality of Ilkay Gundogan, the way that to me he has different phases in a season, but that phase that when like the crunch game comes up, he comes up trumps. Can Kovacic bring that sort of sauce? I don't, Jack. I don't believe so. There, Riyad Mahrez has been in and out of this Manchester City team this season, but you know what he's done in previous years, and I think with Guardiola, he goes through different phases. Now it's almost like okay, it's Phil Foden or Bernardo Silva, which is not bad. It's
No,
not bad at all, but it's like
true.
the depth of having things are going a bit rough. Got Riyad Mahrez there for you. Yeah, fullback is getting a bit tired. Riyad Mahrez is going to come run at you now. You don't have that sort of option there. And Jack, you mentioned at some point Manchester City are going to sign a player. Are they?
Well, when and who?
To me, the Garviol thing. To me, I'll probably butcher his name again. It didn't make sense.
No,
Yeah, they already had Laporte.
it
They
was a
already
lot
had
of money
Diaz, and
too.
Kanji. 100. It just didn't make sense. I get it. Like they score a lot of goals, they don't concede a lot there. But I didn't think Manchester City needed to add to the defense. To me, it was just more strength and depth in like wide areas. And again, are they going to bring in that player? I like. I don't know. But the question is that where are these replacements coming in? We're not also talking about replacements. We're talking about Man City here, quality replacements. I don't think they're going to find it because Jack. The thing about it, the later it gets in the transfer window, to me, the less likely top teams want to sell their players.
Right.
Because the thing about it is that the transfer window is closing down and replacements just a bit more thin. So I don't know. Maybe he's looking at it. He's going to say Jack Grealish, Phil Foden. They're going to lead the way this year. I'm going to put my trust in them, and maybe they're going to be the ones which, if I'm an opposition fan, as great as the players they are, you'll take that. I'm not
James,
saying this.
are you kidding? I think I'm taking. I mean, there's a lot of teams, wide players. I'm taking ahead of those two, like a lot. Now, Erling Haaland's a bit of a game changer. Kevin De Bruyne is a game changer. Rodri's a game changer. The rest of the team is a game changer. But those wingers in particular, that's a serious thing. Now, it's still my belief at some point in the window, we're going to have somebody come in where we're going to go, damn, him? Damn. Like James, I've said this a couple of times, the Kvaratskhelia deal, like, if that happens at Man City, man, I tweeted this the other day. There's no basis for this at all. I haven't seen any rumors. Federico Chiesa, like that's something that could happen too. Like there are a couple of players who could potentially be available who Man City can afford. My one thing is that I think is kind of interesting. Maybe they're worried about all these financial breaches that they've got under investigation for at the moment. That's the one thing that I'm thinking, man, maybe they're preparing for like a big fine and a big penalty.
I think that might be a thing. I really do believe that the snap cases aren't going away anytime soon.
No.
They've been on their head for over like a year now, and I feel like Manchester City, they don't want to reach their hand out and dip their hands in their pockets that heavy, and it's going to be like, you guys still have this there, the financial fair play. It's always going to be around there, and I think if Guardiola does this with the squad that he has right now, bear in mind it's still a quality squad, and wins losing the players that like they have lost and not brought in everybody, this might be one of his greatest accomplishments as a manager overall, because he's just showing you that I'm taking a squad, a lesser squad than I got last season, and I'm still delivering. I don't know, let's say if he wins the league again, which is going to be 4 leagues in a row, you'll be looking at him thinking, this man's different. And I think that the only reason that you still have Manchester City as favourites, Jack, to me, I know people say Erling Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne. Yes, it's Guardiola, Jack. It's Guardiola. Yeah. That factor will always, as long as he's there, they will always be the favourites.
He's the MVP. There's absolutely no doubt about that. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne might be the best midfielder the league's ever seen. Erling Haaland. Yes. I mean, it depends how he's doing long term, but this might be one of the best forwards the league's ever seen too. I mean, he's certainly broken records immediately from the off, but we all know the man with the plan. We all know the guy who's pushing them over the edge. It's Pep. This is, again, you know, James and I, we repeat ourselves a lot on this channel. I know I certainly do. It's the best manager in the world. It's the guy who can do more with more. This is the highest caliber of manager execution that I think we've probably ever seen in the game. The guy's ridiculous.
Ever seen. He's a maniac. He's an absolute maniac. And to me, it's just, I look at the standards of these players. You know, Kovacic, to me, is a very, very, very good player. If he can bring his standard up, Jack, what can this man not do? Because he's improving players. You know, not every player. Go on, Jack.
I think he will. Again, I know you really like Gundogan. I really like Gundogan too. I don't think Kovacic is a huge drop-off. I think it's a drop-off. I'd still take Gundogan as the better player. But I think it's relatively close. And I think that under Pep, we're going to see him potentially play his best football. Again, I still think there's a lot of window left. I still think there's a few signings that could sign. And also, Man City might do an FU kind of signing. They might sign somebody where you just think like they've just gone out of their way and just been like, you know what, we don't even care. And you know what, James? Maybe it's Calvin Phillips' season. Maybe it's Phil Foden's season. Maybe it's Julian Alvarez's season. Maybe it's Sergio Gomez's season, right? Maybe it's some academy guys come through that Pep likes the look of as well. We've seen Man City sell so many academy players for money where you're like, what? So some of them must be pretty handy. So maybe some of them are coming through. Guys, let me know what you think at home. This is not really the kind of performance in an off-season that we'd be hoping for out of Premier League champions, especially fresh off a treble. We saw it with Sir Alex Ferguson year after year. They would win the league and then they'd sign some striker who'd scored 20 goals, or they'd sign the best player of somebody else's team. Pep's not doing that this summer. Is that going to damage them? You let us know in the comments. Hit subscribe if you're not already. Drop a like on the video. And until next time, we will see you.